Welcome to the channel, guys. We are back again for another First Impression Fridays. Today I got two totally different fragrances, probably. Lemon Line by Mancera and Kiviskin by Piotr Czarnecki. Probably said that totally wrong, but stay tuned for that. If you like first impressions, fragrance reviews, cologne comparisons, top 10 lists, hit that subscribe button for more great content. So, Piotr Czarnecki decided to give a second try. I did a video a long time ago. I blind bought Shihan, which a lot of people talk about as a really great sort of boozy tobacco fragrance. All the notes are right for my taste, but for whatever reason on my skin, it wore like hay. That's just really the smell that I got. And, I was not a big fan of it. So I actually ended up selling the bottle that I had, finally, after so long. But I did end up trying Venom of Angel, which I thought was actually a really nice fragrance. It has white chocolate in it, which definitely sets it apart from chocolate fragrances. But I did like that one. Decided to try another one. And this is Kiviskin. Probably, like I said that totally wrong. But I want to try this one out. And I'm going to go with this one first because I have no real expectations for it. Lemon Line by Mancera I've heard a lot about. So I kind of have positive expectations, I guess, but let's check out this one here. I want to say that this one was supposed to be a fresh fragrance, but I really don't remember when I picked it up. It does feel a little bit fresher. It's very light. There's definitely something. There's something under there that is really quite interesting. And for a second there, I felt like I smelled blueberries, but that is totally gone. And there's something there that's a little bit more resinous, maybe slightly smoky, or something like that. This is really puzzling. I'm starting to wonder if maybe I'm a little out of practice. I find that the more I do these, I get a little bit better at actually picking out and smelling notes, but maybe last month I fell off the horse a little bit, so this one might also be a little bit complicated. It is really interesting. It's semi-sweet. It feels a little bit aquatic. So there's something a little bit flowy, a little bit watery about it. It doesn't actually smell full-on aquatic, but there is something there that has a little bit of a slight bluey marine vibe. Not in the full-on shower gel way, but it does smell very, very interesting. Super interesting. After trying these more from this brand, I gotta say, I don't know why Shihan is the one everybody talks about, but interesting. I'm gonna let it sit. Hopefully it'll sort of develop a little bit. I'll pick it apart a little bit better, but it is interesting. I'm going to go to Lemon Line. Now, if I recall, this one is a little bit fresher, and that's kind of why I picked it up, if I recall, because I wanted something more summery as we're moving into that territory. And there's the lemon for sure. It's a little bit zesty. It's funny with the name Lemon Line, because it almost sounds like lemon lime, and I get, or sorry, lemon lime, and I do get a little vibe of lime in this, and a little bit of that prickly feeling that I find a lot of neroli has. It does also have a little bit of that going for it. It is definitely fresh, citrusy. Does smell a little bit juicy, like maybe almost lemonade-y, but not full on. It's a little bit sweet, so I know it was a little bit zesty, a little bit tart right on the opening, but it does have a sweetness there too, which kind of lends it to being a little bit like a lemon candy. I feel like there's something that's very slightly green there as well, giving it a little bit more character. This is really nice. I do see why people talk about this one. To me, Mancera is one of those houses that I think they're really great because you can find a lot of their fragrances on discounters for basically the price of a designer fragrance. You can get 125 ml or something like that for, $80 to $120 or something like that, depending on where you get it and which one it is. So, and they all perform very, very well. So this one is definitely much stronger than the Piotr Czarnecki fragrance. And I think the problem is there's tons of them. So it's a matter of finding out which ones you like. And sometimes that means sampling a lot. But this one is a nice, if you like the smell of lemon, especially if a slightly zesty, slightly sweet candy-like lemon. And I don't know if it's kind of the association with the name, but I don't so much get that limey vibe anymore. But it is toning down with respect to the overall freshness. But overall, I will say really nice first impression. I see why people like this one, and I think it's one worth checking out if you're trying to get into Mancera. Worth checking out. I'm going to go back to the Piotr Czarnecki. Probably saying that Czarnecki. Probably saying it wrong, but I try. So there is something there that does definitely give me this blueberry vibe. This one has a lot of character, a lot of complexity to it. There is still that slight kind of smokiness, almost like maybe an incense. And it does give me a bit of a woodiness underneath. It does come across like, not like a cedar, but it is a sort of a thick, dry, older wood feel. And like I said, it is sitting on something that feels a little bit bluer. Again, if you think about those kinds of marine fragrances or those kinds of aquatic fragrances that don't actually smell truly like aquatic, they just have this sort of blue jello-y feel, if you know what I'm talking about. That's kind of what I get with this on the top. But like I said, there's something slightly darker, a little bit animalic almost, a little bit smoky underneath that gives it this really nice complexity, this really nice character. Very mysterious fragrance. So very mysterious, enjoyable fragrance all around. Do like this one. I think I'm going to have to check this one out more. I'm definitely putting this in the category of Piotr Czarnecki fragrances that I like, at least so far. I'm going to go back to Lemon Lime. Give it one more pass over, see what it's got. It does still have a slight, very slight greenness. The lemony vibe is definitely toning down into a lot more of a slightly synthetic candy kind of feel. Not an overwhelmingly bad way, but kind of like a Lifesavers or something like that. And I'm a little surprised. I was, most Mancera fragrances, they may not have oud in it, but they have a note of oud, so something like that. Was kind of expecting some kind of woodiness, but I don't really pick that up. Maybe it's something that comes across a little bit later in the dry down. I would have to actually look at the notes. Both these fragrances I actually didn't look at the notes. So hopefully I got some of them right. But that's an interesting one. I actually am going to have to say I do think I like the Piotr Czarnecki fragrance more. I was a little bit surprised. Maybe I had low expectations, and so it was only going to impress me from there. But the Mancera is also nice. I see why people like it. Performance is there, and I think if you like lemon fragrances, it manages to be a nice lemon fragrance without reminding me anyways of Pledge, and that's always a risk with lemon fragrances. But this Piotr fragrance, it's complex, it's different, it's very original smelling, which I do like that. And sometimes that's something a lot of times do have to look for these smaller niche houses to try and find these people that are doing a little bit more experimental things. But in either case, both nice. I think Lemon Lime could be year-round, although it is a little bit... It's not full-on fresh, so I would say maybe more spring, but definitely it is strong enough to be year-round. As interesting as this Piotr Czarnecki fragrance is, and as much as I felt like it had a little bit of a blue vibe to it, Personally, I don't think it's a spring-summer fragrance. Maybe spring, but this is a little bit better suited for fall, maybe even winter, because it does come across a little bit darker, a little bit more mysterious, and a little bit thicker. But altogether, both of them nice, but I do prefer the Piotr Czarnecki fragrance just a little bit. But anyways, guys, that is it for the video. That's it for the first impression. Have you tried either one of these fragrances? Especially if you have a recommendation from Mancera, because there are so many Mancera fragrances. If you've got one to recommend for me to try out, do let me know in the comments down below. If you tried anything from Piotr Czarnecki, also let me know down below what it was and whether or not you liked it. But as always, that's it for the video, man. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.